welcome back to Elizabeth Berndt This and That. Today is October the 24th, 2023, and I am reviewing the anime film King of Thorn, and actually it's very apropos because it is spooky month, and it is a horror film originally that was released in 2005, and it is quite the mind bender. There's a lot of gore. It's a little bit different from the manga version, which has a much darker theme and definitely darker ending. But it's a mix of the apocalypse, Sleeping Beauty, and a little bit of Inception. So it's certainly trippy to watch.
Are we hearing something?
Are we hearing something?
What's that?
I'm not sure what that is.
It's an entity coming in from somewhere.
Somewhere in space and time.
Oh, that's what it is?
Yeah.
It's Butters.
Yay.
We've got the baby Butters. That's what we named them early on when we rescued them. So we'll explain why we've got kitties with us.
Yeah.
Do you want to tell people real quick? Well, I'll tell you what. You do the full review.
Yeah, I'm almost done with the review.
And
by the way.
I'll try and make hand gestures and see if I can distract the babies so they're not so loud.
All right.
And you do your full review of
right.
King of Thorn.
I'm almost done, actually.
Oh, we'll stretch it out. Make
Yeah,
it.
there's really not that much to cover here.
Okay.
Unless people want to be spoiled.
You can
but-
spoil a little bit. Just give a spoiler warning.
There's a spoiler warning
Okay.
here, and it's there's a virus that breaks out in the near future, and there's a lot of just slamming big pharma, and it's a cautionary tale, and it exposes the corruption of pharma itself, and it's decidedly different and very chilling to watch. It's very reminiscent of Maze Runner, if you're familiar with the Maze Runner franchise, but it's unique in and of itself. Those are my pros. My cons are, if you're not a fan of gore, then definitely don't watch this because it's extremely gory, very sanguinary, and it's actually very sad. It's actually very tragic, except for the end. The end is happy, which for a horror film is very unusual because typically you don't see that in a horror film, at least not in normal horror films. But it's a nearly perfect film. I loved it. I loved every piece of it. It was exemplary, but I give it a 4.5 out of 5 just because a lot of it would be what I would expect from your typical horror film. 2 thumbs up, but it was definitely edgy, unsettling, and cautionary for people to watch. So if you are adverse to gore, then don't watch it. So that's my review. But now we're going to turn our attention to the sweet little babies, my little sunshines.
Yep, we got the Butters with us. And you can see them off here in the background. I've got them in their little kitty carrier back here.
Like it.
See if I can orient my
Meadow's trying to
hand
get
so
out of
I'm
it.
pointing at them. There we go. They're right there. They don't like being in their box, but why don't you tell the story of how we ended up with baby Butters?
Well, we received a message on Facebook. Was that from somebody you knew, John?
No, just somebody posted in our local Facebook group. I was checking the group before going to bed, and somebody said that 2 cats had been dumped. The mother and a kitten had been dumped at the side of the road way out in the country.
Yeah.
And I just couldn't get to bed, go to sleep, knowing there's 2 cats out there just along the side of the road. So I woke up Elizabeth, and I said, hey, we got to go do a kitty rescue. Drove out into the country.
Fine.
And I had messaged the lady that had posted about them and said, where are they out here in the country? Because she didn't give that good of a location. And it was very close to the railroad tracks where a country road goes over the railroad tracks. And we went out there. I brought my big searchlight with me and shined it out into the road. And immediately the kitten came right up on the road. So I shuddered to think, any car with headlights, and it was dark at this point, any car with headlights, and that kitten would have run up into the
Yeah,
road.
he would have been a goner.
And this was right after you come up over a rise, which is the railroad crossing. So you're coming up over this hump, and the kitties were just on the other side of that by maybe 40 feet. So a car coming through there,
We had no trouble.
he would have gone up into the road and probably been hit by a car.
Yeah.
So they gave us no trouble picking them up. It was like they were glad to see us.
Immediately bonded with me the moment that we met. She wanted to come home with me. She was purring the moment I picked her up, and I thought, oh, they're domestic. They're not feral at all.
Oh, yeah.
And even Kodachrome, they wanted to go home. They didn't want to be kept there. We put them in the carrier. We had no issue taking them home at all.
Yeah.
Whatsoever.
So I've got an extra camera pointed at the kitty carrier, and we'll get them out of the carrier here in just a moment.
Yeah.
But we rescued them, brought them home,
Fell in love with them.
if we were going to find them homes, but Elizabeth, her older cat had passed earlier in the spring this year.
Yeah, he was 16. He was
So she had no
getting
kitty
up there
cat.
in age.
Excuse me. She had no kitty cat. And, we kind of discussed it a little bit, and we thought, well, I guess we could have 2 more cats living
They
under
picked
our
me.
roof.
They're mine.
And they're very affectionate with
Oh,
her.
my goodness, yes, they are.
So I'm going to go ahead and pull the kitties out of the carrier.
You're going to give me Meadow or Kodachrome?
I'm going to give you Meadow.
Miss Meadow, Azalea.
I'll just bring her over to you.
Be careful.
She's in the front.
Yeah, she wanted to get out.
A little easier to get her out of here. Okay, let's go, baby.
Careful.
And Coda, I'm not ready for you yet. So let's see if I can hand her over to mommy.
Oh, she's purring. Yeah, she's purring.
So we'll just finish out the webcast holding kitties.
Yeah.
There we go.
Hi.
Little Coda. Let's go, little Coda. Wearing a black t-shirt, which is probably going to be
This is
covered
not
with
a good idea.
kitty fur.
I don't mind.
Okay, come here, little guy.
She's making bread on my arm.
Yeah, let's
Hi.
see here.
Hello, Meadow.
Okay, you can see the little guy here on my view of the desk. Yeah.
He talks a lot.
Says, what are we doing?
He's loud.
I'd like to run around a little bit.
Hi, Meadow. What you doing?
I'll let you stand on my desk a little. Nope, do not crawl up on the laptop.
He's into everything.
There we go.
You just want to cuddle, don't you? Yeah. Did you not want to talk about the bikes tonight?
Yeah, we can do that. Give me a second. I'm going to unplug and plug back in one of these cameras. It's running a little slow, and I'm just curious if that'll fix it. It's not easy to unplug a camera.
Not with a
with
cat
one
on your
hand.
lap.
Well, can't do this. I got a cat on my lap.
Got a cat on my lap.
There we go. Camera's plugged back in. Select camera image. There we go.
You gonna get comfortable?
All right.
Meadow?
That camera had a lot of delay. I had forgotten to give it a reset before the webcast. It's our main cameras are the Canon EOS R50, which work great for doing a webcast. The other camera is it's a high-end webcam. There's a little baby Butters. Yeah, baby Butters.
He's getting so big.
Yeah.
He was so tiny when we found him.
I think I'll just hold him here in my arms.
He had blue eyes, but now they're gold, like his mom's. Well, his mom's eyes are copper. His eyes are gold.
So those are the new kitties, and in the future, we've been going on a lot of bicycle rides, e-bike, and Elizabeth has her mountain bike. And what we would like to do is talk about the e-bike rides a little bit. We've done a lot of GoPro video.
Yeah.
Those are on my Facebook and also on my YouTube channel, which is just John Lobbin Creative, I think. This little guy's getting restless here.
So is Miss Meadow.
He's
She
getting
just
very
wants to move
restless.
around. She said, like, unhand me, human.
Let me go back to the. Come
Oh,
here, little guy.
Bless you. Bless you.
Come here,
She
little
sneezed.
guy. He says, I see all these lights and things I could play with, and you're holding on to me, and I can't play with any of it. Yeah.
Oops.
I'm going to fetch these guys up here in a second. We'll put them back in the
In the carrier.
kitty carrier. When did we get these? Back in July?
July.
Okay.
Yeah, it was end of July, not long after Peanut passed.
Yeah, we're making an appointment pretty soon for this little guy right here to get fixed.
Yeah.
We couldn't figure out if we wanted to get Mama fixed first or get him fixed. I think we're going to have him fixed first
We'll have him fixed first.
and get any shots he still needs.
Oh, she's getting restless.
There we go. And I'm going to see about getting
She's very active.
this guy back in his carrier.
Yeah. You okay?
Okay, he's back in. Close. And if you'll hand
Meadow.
Meadow to me.
You got her?
Yeah. I've only reached so far wearing the headphones.
Yeah.
And we've got Meadow.
Well, tell them about what happened earlier, actually.
Earlier.
That freaked us out a little bit.
Oh, that was weird.
Yeah, that was strange.
We had just right before the webcast. Let me get back to my microphone here. This was right before the webcast. And I had just gotten done putting both cats in that carrier and locking that door and checking that it was secure. So I go off into the kitchen to get my coffee because anytime I do a webcast, I've got to have my coffee. And Meadow comes walking into the kitchen. And I know that I locked both cats in there securely. So that was kind of freaky.
And the door of the carrier was still locked.
Came
too.
back out here.
Yeah.
And Coda's still in the carrier. And I checked the door and it's locked solid.
What?
And I couldn't figure out how has that cat transported from in there. And I was double checking,
Schrodinger's
thinking,
cat.
I'm sure I put her in there. I put them both in one after the other and locked the door.
She's a quantum entity.
Well, one of the little, that top, you slide the levers and you can take the top off. The whole top half of the cage off. It's unlike my others. And one of those locks was undone and you can pull the carrier apart when that's undone. So she squeezed herself through that gap and that's how she
Easily.
got out. But I don't know if you can see him in the background there.
My eyes went wide. Well, go ahead and tell them about our e-bikes. Well, not our e-bikes, but your e-bike.
Yeah. Let me go back and put that back up on the screen.
Oh, the hay bike.
That's a hay bike, electric bike, e-bike. It's made by Hay Bike. The model of that particular model is the Brawn, BRAWN model. And it'll do about 28 mile per hour without pedaling. And I get a good 45 miles out of a charge. Nice bike. I enjoy it. I like riding it. I've put probably 300 miles on it by now since I got it in, was that September, early September?
Early September.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I haven't had it that long. But we'll talk about those on a future webcast. And what books and TV series do you still have on the list of reviews? She's got a bunch
Well,
of
I've
them.
got a whole bunch. The next one that I review is going to be Fall of the House of Usher, because that was the most recent one that we watched on Netflix. And I'm going to be reviewing Stu's new books, Stu Fabe's books, I should say, and the second Magnus Flight, and a few more films and series that I've been watching over time. So,
All right.
Stay tuned.
So we'll do some more webcasts in the future. We've been away from this last several months. We've just had a lot to do this summer, been bike riding a lot. We had hoped to do some camping. We did do a little bit of camping with some of our groups of friends. We haven't done any solo camping. We
yet.
would like to do, we'd like to do some stealth camping, but haven't gotten around to doing that yet. So got a lot of things we'd like to do here on the webcast. And tonight we weren't planning on doing a webcast. We just thought we'd whip something up real quick because we're be getting back into this a little more with more reviews, talk about e-bikes, maybe some local events and activities that are going on. That's why Elizabeth renamed the YouTube page Elizabeth Berndt's This and That. Anything else?
That'll be it, actually.
All right.
So,
Well, let's hit the closeout music here, and
catch you on the flip side.
we will call it a night, and we'll be back soon.
Ciao.